Once upon a time, two friends joined forces to bring you the best in horror entertainment. Brian from the north, Tim from the south, each bringing their own unique perspective to the horror community. Movie reviews, Blu-ray releases, beer pairings, games, and more. Welcome to your new home for horror. This is Civil Gore.
Hey there, everybody. Welcome to the Civil Gore Podcast. I'm your host, Tim.
And this is Brian, and sorry, Tim did that much faster, and I was gulping a beer, but doesn't matter. We know beer is an important part of this podcast.
Exactly.
Apparently, Good Pods has us at 17th, right, as beer
17th beer podcast,
somehow?
Yeah, somehow. I don't know.
Go figure. We're a horror podcast. We're 131st in Croatia, but on Good Pods, we're 17 in the beer category, which is kind of odd, but you know what? We're somewhere. We're on lists.
Yes.
And on good lists, at least. You know, we're not on bad lists, like watch lists or anything.
Or Santa's naughty list.
Yes, yeah. I don't want to be on Santa's naughty list. Not this year. We need some good things this year. Yeah. So with this is going to be a first in the Dismemberment where we recap the last week of the month that we forgot.
Yes. So yeah, we had as we told you, I think on our last episode or maybe the episode you haven't heard yet because it's coming out tomorrow. But anyway,
yeah, we're all over the place. I apologize. Yeah.
We did not. Because of our illnesses, we did not get to record the last week of November Discmemberment, which we had split off because it was a huge week, had 24 releases in it. So we're just going to run through those quickly. We're not going to do the extras and the summaries and all that kind of stuff. And I don't know. How do you want to do this, Brian? You want to just alternate?
Yeah, we could alternate if you want. I mean, we're just going to literally read the titles, right?
Yeah, I'm going to read the title and maybe say like a one-liner if I know what it is. Okay, so first up, these were the releases.
Oh, yeah, we could read the title. Actually, you're right. Read the title and maybe the description. That's it.
Yeah.
Won't go through the features.
Yeah. So first up these are all the releases that came out the week of after Thanksgiving. So November 28th. Would be the release date for these. First up, we had from Agfo, God Monster of Indian Flats from 1973.
Yes, and again, I am having all kind of glitches because my screen froze, so I apologize. Second one is Tremors 2 Aftershock. And of course, you know that was what that's all about.
Yeah. Next one up from Arrow. This was one of their big box sets that they have, when they do like some weird filmmaker and they do this big box set of their stuff, and it's called Inside the Mind of Coffin Joe, who apparently made films from 1964 to 2008.
Yeah, but that's it. Then he stopped. Actually, guy, I don't want to make that joke again. Last time we made a joke about something like that, the poor guy was dead. Yeah. The next one, a classic, Monster Squad, of course, it could be possibly one of the best gateway horror films out there. And that's a 4K re-release there.
Yeah. From Saturn's Core, they had one of those weird double features, Hayride Slaughter and Halloween Horrors. Those were 1992 and 2001, respectively.
Yes, and then Severn Films releases Count Dracula in 4K. That's the... Actually, and that's like, I guess it's all of them, right? I don't know. It's a 70 to 2017, but it looks like it's just one Dracula movie.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that one.
Jesus Franco made one about Bram Stoker, and Christopher Lee was in this one also. So
it's a big 4-disc set, though. Yeah, it's a hefty set.
Oh, it is a 4-disc set?
Yeah, so I don't know what all's on it, but you have to go look that one up. That's another great Severin box of something.
Oh, I see. You're right. Yeah. There's a couple of things. Okay.
Next, another Shout Factory great one. Tales from the Dark Side, the movie, in a 4K release.
Yeah. Then there's 1986 from TerraVision. The next few are actually TerraVision. Well, actually,
a lot of TerraVision released a lot.
Yeah. This one is Hollow Gate from 1986. About, I guess, it's funny. It's kind of similar to almost like a pumpkin head if you look at the description on this.
Yeah. The next one up was also from TerraVision. That's The Jar from 1984.
The Jar. That's when inanimate objects just became horror films, like The Keys.
Yeah, they were running out of ideas.
The hand sanitizer. Yeah. Then the next is Wood Chipper Massacre.
So that's a title I can get behind. That one definitely has a... That one, The Jar is a little vague, but the Wood Chipper Massacre, you know what you're getting. Next up is Slashers from 2001.
Followed by Dead Air from 2009.
Back to the mundane objects, Door from 1988. Door.
Yeah. That one, but actually, I don't know. On Door, I'm kind of open to see where that one goes.
Or what if your door is a jar?
Oh my God, maybe that. Oh, they should have made that the double feature.
I know.
Oh, they missed it. 4 years apart. Probably figured it didn't work. Oh, damn it! Why didn't we put those next to each other? Next one's kind of takes a combo of all of it. Blood Car.
This was a cool one from 1972, 1975. Of the Damned from Umbrella Entertainment.
Yeah, that looks like there's 2 films there, Into the Damned and Night of Fear, so that's kind of cool. Next one is Psycho Paul's Film Festival, and that's VHS Hit Fest. That's a new one.
Yeah, we had some interesting publishers.
I know, it was such a fun week that we screwed up. I feel bad.
Here's a great one, Vinegar Syndrome's Mother's Day 4K release.
Yeah. Didn't Joe Bob do that?
I think, he did. That's where I first saw it. Yeah, that was from 1980.
Yeah, okay. Next one is Mark of the Devil 4K.
That's a good one. Next up is this is our good friend Slater.
The Vinegars.
Yeah,
Syndromes. Yeah.
This is our good friend Slater's one of his favorite horror movies of all time. He actually sent me a copy of it. Bloodsucking Freaks in 4K from 1976.
Yeah, that's right. By the way, the next batch, except for the last 2, are Vinegar Syndrome. This one's Rabid Grannies.
That one fits nicely with the Bloodsucking Freaks, I think.
It does.
Here's a good box set. The Prophecy 1 through 3 4K box set from Vinegar
Did
Syndrome.
they make another one? I could have sworn they made a 4th one of that.
I don't know. I've only seen the first one. That was ages ago, so I never saw the sequels.
I got to look that up. Or maybe they just announced the 4th one and they never did it. I don't know. Could be. You never know with these franchises in there. Vinegar Syndrome's Lost Picture Show is the last one. This one, I guess it's a bunch of movies on here.
Yeah.
I guess I'll read to the movies real quick. It's Las Vegas Strangler, Beware of the Black Widow, Deep Inside, Violated. That's weird. That's right next to each other. Barbara, Red Midnight, The Last of the American Hobos, What's Love, and I don't know what's with my screen. It keeps freezing. I apologize. What's Love? The Sex Serum of Dr. Blake and the Rare Blue Apes of Cannibal Isle, or AKA the Pirates of Cannibal Isle.
Oh man,
well that's vague. What is it? An ape or is it a pirate or is it a pirate ape?
Hopefully the latter.
I mean, we have a serial apist. Yeah. Why not have a pirate ape?
I like the idea of pirate apes. That sounds cool.
Yeah, especially if it had a peg leg too. You know.
Last 2 are from Visual Vengeance. We had Scream Queen from 2002, which was a Linnea Quigley vehicle.
Yes, and no, this is not a sequel to the other one. This is The Wrong Door. Nothing to do with the other Door movie. Yeah. Wow, that's got to be a record. 2 movies with Door in the title.
Yeah.
In 1 week for the Dismemberment. Interesting. But
so if you missed out on if any of those sounded interesting, then you'll have to go look those up yourself. Unfortunately, since we just had to run through those pretty quickly. But we're back to December. December's a weird month because there's no horror releases for the week of Christmas. It was a blank.
It was a blank so
week,
weird,
so
right?
We had only 3 weeks of releases. Although December 12th is pretty packed. That's a packed week. Our first week here, December 5th, is pretty light, but it has some good stuff in it. The releases of December 5th, starting out with 88 films. The Blue Jean Monster from 1991. A cop turns into a monster after being gunned down and electrocuted in the Triad shootout. And let me tell you, nobody can accuse this trailer of being boring.
No, this one, it has, I did not have squirting boobs on my bingo card for this film. But it's, weird. If you watch a trailer, it literally starts off like some weird, war movie. Then it turns into some kind of, Terminator film, and then meets Benny Hill.
Oh, it's insane.
It's a bizarro trailer, but it's definitely fun to watch the trailer. I don't know what it is, but you know what? The trailer did its damn job because I want to see it now.
Oh, yeah. Oh, and by the way, I'll preface this because there was a lot of releases, more than usual, that had no extras listed. And I even went the extra step and tried to look up the pre-orders on Amazon because sometimes they'll put the extras there if they're not on the press release. I couldn't find extras on these, so it could be that they just weren't available yet. So again, our normal disclaimer applies. If there's no extras listed, it could be that they just weren't available in time for the press release, and there may be something on there. But there are a lot of releases this month with no extras. That was one of them.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure why we have such a weird month, but it is what it is, right? Yeah. Next one is Dark Star Pictures, The Elderly from 2022. It's an octogenarian Is that like an
It's an
armed octopus?
It's an eight
doctor. Is that
eight-limbed senior citizen is what I believe.
Is it? Is it? So that's like Cone's nightmare, like an old octopus.
Yes.
That's like cranky. That's coming after him. You know, octogenarian who enters into a state of dementia after the sudden suicide of his wife, sparking a series of paranormal events that will put his family lives at risk. It actually looks kind of really super creepy. And I kind of want to see it.
Yeah, this is a Spanish horror film, and I'm always up for Spanish horror. They make some really good stuff. So this one did look. I think this one could be a kind of a sleeper hit. I think I want to see this one.
I agree. Even if it's an 8-armed old person.
That's right. I'm in. That might even be creepier.
Right? I know.
Next up from RLJ Entertainment is Creepshow Season 4, which I just recently finished, actually. And there were some, it's like any Creepshow season. It's uneven, but there were a few segments in this one that I really, really liked.
Yeah, I've only seen part of them. I've seen part of the season, but what I've seen I liked so far. So maybe the ones that aren't as good are towards the end. I don't know. Yeah. Next one is a classic, but this is weird. It's getting released by Sandpiper Pictures. I don't think we've gotten that one before.
Yeah, that's a new one.
But this is a big release, and it's a birth year movie for me, too, and that's Blackula. Of course, if you don't, it's an all-time classic, but in case you're not familiar with it, an ancient African prince turned into a vampire by Dracula finds himself in modern-day Los Angeles.
Yeah.
This is a classic one. Why there's got to be special features on this to get this release again.
Yeah.
So I want to say, didn't either, I don't know, I want to say Criterion or one of the other big places had a release of this once. I don't know, so maybe this is like the opposite, where they're trying to get like a more like modest release for, more wallet friendly.
I have seen that, and like some of the smaller publishers will get access to a title, but they won't have the budget for the extras and stuff, so they'll just release it standalone. But I don't know what the case is with this one. There was no extras listed when I looked it up. But I will say, if you haven't seen Blackula or the sequel, go check them out, because I still think William Marshall's one of the best on-screen vampires. Like, as much as this, you kind of think of this movie as like a blaxploitation kind of thing, it's actually he's like a damn good vampire. It's really, really good. So
these are and these are just like, like everyone knows. You hear the title, everyone knows it.
Yeah.
It's like one of those, like, any horror fan is going to know this movie. So
yeah, it's a classic. So. Before our pick of the week, we had one from TerraVision, and this is a weird one. All jacked up and full of worms from 2022. Follows Roscoe, a seedy motel maintenance man. After discovering some powerful hallucinogenic worms, he meets Benny. They fall in love, making worms together before embarking on an odyssey of sex and violence. The trailer didn't do much for me. This is kind of a weird. There's a lot of earthworms and drugs, and I don't know.
I feel like we got this as a screener, but never got to it. For some reason,
the name sounded familiar.
Yeah. Either that or like maybe Emily saw it and told us about it. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I just know I've heard of it before, like in a more of a close knit way, not like just randomly. Like either someone told us directly about it, or we got the screener. But nevertheless, this one was an obvious. If you know Tim and I, this would be the obvious pick of the week for us. This one is a release, but it's a Shout Factory release, so those always tend to kind of bump themselves up on the charts, and that is Silver Bullet in 4K, 1985. Of course, that was one of my favorite Stephen King books, even though it was a short one. It was, of course, Cycle of the Werewolf it was based on, and this one actually was this is another one I consider could be incredibly good gateway horror film.
Yeah, definitely.
This is like, it's scary, but it's not a lot of like sex in it. There's not a lot of like a pretty simple story. It's got, kids, Corey Haim, of course, is is the main character. It's just a good like quality, like, like horror film that probably would have been what is it? What was it? Was it PG-13 or was it R? Because it's probably been PG-13 today.
These days it would probably be PG-13, I would think. I'll look it up while you're doing the extras.
Okay, yeah. And this one, this is an all-time favorite of mine. I love Gary Busey, and this is Uncle Red. It's kind of funny. Anyway, disc 1, it's got the 4K Blu-ray, new transfer from the original camera negative. That's a new transfer for this release. New audio commentary with Eric Vespi and Scott Wampler of the King cast. So that, you get a Stephen King property, it's good. You gotta. This is one of those ones where I'm okay with another podcast taking over.
And that's a great podcast. The Kingcast is always a great podcast if you're a Stephen King fan.
Yeah. Audio commentary with producer Martha De Laurentiis. Audio commentary with director Daniel Attias. Isolated score selection and audio interview with composer Jay Chataway. The disc 2 is the Blu-ray release, and that's got some more special features on it with A Little Private Justice, an interview with actor Kent Broadhurst, Cutting to the Bone, an interview with editor Daniel Lowenthal, The Wolf Within, an interview with actor Everett McGill, of course, who is a great character in this, and of course known from Twin Peaks and People Under the Stairs. Full Moon Fever, The Effects of Silver Bullet, theatrical trailer, TV spot, radio spot, and the still gallery.
All right, so to recap the week of December 5th, we had The Blue Jean Monster from 1991, The Elderly from 2022, Creepshow Season 4 from 2022, Blackula from 1972, All Jacked Up and Full of Worms from 2022, and our pick of the week, Silver Bullet 4K Shout Factory release 1985. That one, if you don't have that one already, that's a great time to pick that one up.
Yeah, and Everett McGill is a very underrated actor, I think. I don't know if people talk about how good he is in everything he's in.
Yeah. I need to rewatch that. It's been a while since I've seen Silver Bullet.
Yeah, it's such a good one. I love that one. I mean, I just love. You know what I loved about it, because I loved Cycle of the World so much because of the cool art.
Yes,
it was rare that they had those like full on pictures in a Stephen King book like that, but there were these full color.
Yeah, the book was awesome. That's where I first learned about. I don't think I saw the movie first. I think I actually read the book first before.
Oh yeah, no, I totally did actually, and I didn't even realize the movie came out and that it was about it, because I was expecting it to be called Cycle of the Werewolf.
Yeah. Which I still think is kind of a cooler name, Cycle of the Werewolf.
I do too. I wonder why they changed it to Silver Bullet. I don't know. That'd be a good thing. I wonder if it's somewhere buried in one of the special features. Yeah. Probably tell you about it.
This next week, December 12th, is our big week. There's 16 releases in this one. This is the one they're trying to get everything packed in before Christmas. And first up...
I mean, it makes sense. There's nothing actually Christmas week.
Yeah.
Because not a lot of people go shopping. And Christmas, we got to remember, Christmas is on a Monday this year.
Yeah, it's a weird...
So, you've already, this is now, you're talking about the day after Christmas having a release. If you're smart, you do not go to anywhere to return anything on the day after Christmas, because that's just like a nightmare.
I'm imagining anything that was scheduled for this week, they probably pushed to January. But first up from Epic Pictures is one that I've been wanting to see. I've heard a lot of good things, and that is Satanic Hispanics from 2022. A police raid takes place on a mystery location. Sorry, my text there didn't wrap like I...
Yeah, mine did too. I'm not sure what's with this file today.
It's been kind of crazy. But anyway, a police raid takes place on a mystery location where a brutal massacre has happened and only one survivor remains. Taken into custody, the mysterious man has some strange tales to tell whilst the clock ticks down to a deadline that man says will be the end of them all. I
definitely want to see this movie.
Yeah, no special features listed for that one, but I definitely want to check that one out.
Yes. Next one is Film Masters, the Terror 60th Anniversary Edition from 1963, and shame is one I have never seen, and I don't know why. Just one of those ones that kind of missing off of my list. But it's a Napoleonic cavalry soldier, Lieutenant Andre Duvalier, comes upon his mysterious woman named Helene. Although the lieutenant is immediately taken with Helene, she seems to be leading him into deadly traps. When Duvalier seeks refuge at a baron's nearby castle, Helene unexpectedly appears there. The baron is convinced that Helene is the ghost of his long-departed wife, Ilsa, but the lieutenant believes Helene is under a hypnotic spell. So this one, but I saw this. I haven't seen it, but a robed Boris Karloff and Jack Nicholson in royal regalia. I mean, how is that not going to be a winning combination?
This one's great. I watched this one for a horror challenge. I think last year's horror challenge, and it's really good. But at the same time, Jack Nicholson is very distracting because you know who Jack Nicholson is. But this was a very early role for him. He's super young, but
this is his Roger Corman days.
It's Roger Corman days, but. You have all the baggage of decades of Jack Nicholson when you're trying to watch this, and you can't see anything other than smart ass Jack Nicholson through the whole thing.
I know, it's like and he's that smirk. Yeah, it's that smirk, no matter what.
It's great. I mean, I would highly recommend it. I really enjoyed it, and Boris Karloff is fantastic in it, but it is a little distracting to see Jack Nicholson in this role.
Yeah, this could have been my pick of the week, but I chose the other one, the same one as you did. We're in unison pretty
like
much.
Nobody buys Jack Nicholson as a French cavalry soldier. Like no.
Yeah, you just don't. Yeah. I don't know. It just He doesn't scream French. No. But anyway, there's some good features on this. So it's a brand new restoration from the original 35mm archival elements. There's a bonus film, which is, of course, one of the Roger Corman films that Jack Nicholson did that everyone by now is familiar with, because there was one sequence in time where I felt like it was at the Blu-ray for this was at every single gas station, convenience store, Kmart, Walmart, basically in the bargain racks, and it was a little shop of horrors. The Jack.
It's
Nicholson
almost
version.
like Night of the Living Dead in terms of like how public domain. I don't want to say. I don't know that it's.
Did it like lose its like copyright somehow?
That's what I'm wondering.
Didn't you feel like it like was everywhere at one point?
I almost wonder if it's in public domain because you see it everywhere. Not now. I mean, I'll still say though for this, I think that's a cool like inclusion because I don't own Little Shop of Horrors
because
on Blu-ray.
I don't because all those times I said I saw it, I never picked it up.
Yeah.
I don't own it.
So that is a great addition. But yeah, I think you're right. It's just like Night of the Living Dead. Like you just see it everywhere.
Yeah, like in every form, every production company has their own version of it.
Yeah.
It's like yeah. But anyway, full-length commentary they have for it by The Terror by C. Courtney Joyner and Dr. Steve Haberman. Full-length comment and Justin Humphreys does the one, but he's not a film historian. No. The other two are film historians, and of course you might know them, but we haven't heard from them in a while. It's been a while, but. C. Courtney Joyner, though, his first C also stands for Courtney. He changed it to C, not to sound pretentious because of his many titles. Unbeknownst to him, though, the changing of the first to an initial has become the symbol of pretension. He's easygoing, though, laid back, but always stumbles into sounding pretentious. So that'll be an interesting commentary, I'm sure. And Steve Haberman, of course, when he enters the room, he sings, Haberman does whatever a Haber can. And while that sounds ridiculous, he always offers incredible input as if he has heightened senses. So that's very kind of unique. And it's funny, he counteracts somehow Konstantin Nazer, which will be mentioned later. I haven't heard the last of him this month.
Steve Haberman's one of my favorite film historian bios for sure.
I think so. I think that was a good one. I like. Yeah. I mean, of course, probably nothing like the real man, but do we care at this point?
We don't care.
Yes. So I can't close him. Okay, there we go. Joyner provides also an essay on the Karloff-Poe connection. So that's interesting.
Not to be confused with the Rainbow Connection.
Yes, no. Wouldn't it be funny if he sang that? He goes, "Someday you'll find it, the Karloff-Poe connection." Anyway.
This show's completely gone off the rails.
Yeah, that was.
We have not been drinking. We promise. I'm on antibiotics.
No, well, actually, speak for yourself. I'm half a pumpkin. My final pumpkin in, but that's not enough. That's just me normally. A ballyhoo motion picture. Oh no, wait! I forgot. Mark McGee pens liner notes for Little Shop of Horrors.
Don't forget Mark McGee.
Yeah, then Ballyhoo Motion Pictures. Tell me, is that not the biggest name for a Hollywood company?
I'm gonna put you in a Ballyhoo picture, kid.
Yeah, you're gonna be great. You're gonna be the king of the town, and Ballyhoo's got your back. Okay. Anyway, Ballyhoo Motion Pictures continues Hollywood Intruders, the film group story with part 2 of the featurette. Don't even understand what that means. Featurette by Howard S. Berger, Ghost in the Machine, Art and Artifice. I don't know what that means. And Roger Corman's A Celluloid Castle provides a fresh look at The Terror. And recut trailers based on the original theatrical trailers. Well,
why not just put the original theatrical trailers?
I know. Why just do it? Then what's that? That was the weirdest special feature. But okay.
Okay, this next one I had no clue existed, and now I really want to see it. This is from Kino Lorber. This is House of the Long Shadows from 1983. And yes, I was expecting this to be a 1970s picture based on that title. But
from Ballyhoo.
From Ballyhoo. Course, right? But it's from 1983. And it looks like, well, let me read the synopsis and I'll tell you what it looks like. An American writer goes to a remote Welsh manor on a $20,000 bet. Can he write a classic novel like Wuthering Heights in 24 hours? Upon his arrival, however, the writer discovers that the manor, thought empty, actually has several rather odd inhabitants. So what this looks like is a revival of old 70s Hammer horror, because it brings back Christopher Lee, Peter Cushing, and Vincent Price in one film, and it has that very much has the 70s Hammer look. I want to see this. I don't know if it's any good, but the whole premise of that really intrigues me. I think that's
no, I really want to see that. Yeah, the trailer for it's kind of fun too. So it's like
this one does have some extras. Has a brand new interview with director Pete Walker. audio commentary with director Pete Walker, and audio commentary, we missed him, audio commentary by film historian David Del Valle.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know what? I did
Valle.
see him, but we've had him before. But I'll give you a quick thing. He was the one that looks guy that looks like Frankie Avalon. Used to do beachploitation movies. He has the Shatner hair, V-necks.
Yeah.
He likes to have the Hasselhoff chest hair, and he's living his beach bingo life. Smooths with the ladies like Richard Dawson from Family Feud.
He's also on what was that streaming channel, and he looks nothing.
Oh, Full Moon. He's like, he's got his own little series on Full Moon.
Nothing like that, but kind of.
Nothing like it. Not even close.
Kinda, but in a way, you think
kinda and not at the same time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So next one's yours.
We finished him?
We're done.
Yeah, we're finished. I didn't realize we finished with the David Del Valle. Next one, even though you should have got this one with all your journey into this franchise, I guess. Kino Lorber and the Quatermass experiment. Not Quartermass, as I've said 100 times. It looks like quarter. Who named it?
You know why? Because I confuse it with that. What was that old 80s movie, like Alan Quartermain?
Oh, exactly. And I thought it was that Quartermain was based on all Quatermasses.
Exactly. This has been like a decades-long confusion with me.
It is, and I had some nerve, for God's sake. They better never ever really try and reinvigorate this franchise nowadays, because I'm just getting angry. Anyway, this was from 1955, so this, for all we know, could be the first Quatermass experiment. I almost said it again, Quatermass. Anyway, at the dawn of space, in the age of British Rocket Group, launches 3 astronauts on an experimental mission. Their ship, Quatermass 1, loses radio contact with Earth and later crash lands. Professor Bernard Quatermass is one of the first on the scene and is intrigued to discover that 2 of the crew are no longer aboard. It soon becomes clear that the mission's sole survivor, Victor Caroon, Richard Wordsworth, is desperately ill. He's rapidly consumed by the parasitic alien organism that killed his fellow astronauts.
You know what's funny is that premise. You see that premise in a lot of modern movies, like something comes back from space. And you don't realize how, this was being done in 1955. That's not new at all.
Yeah, I mean, even Twilight Zone, I think, did an episode with that. I mean, it's not, it's just it's one of those, plots that just you're going to see all the time, but they just decorate it just enough to not realize you're seeing the same plot as 500 other movies. But, I'd be up for I almost said it again, Quatermass. God damn, why is it so confusing? Quatermass.
Because it's a dumb name. It should have been Quartermass.
It really is.
Nobody says Quater, except Equator.
No. Yeah, exactly. It's just, why is it Quater?
Yeah.
Anyway, watch, they'll do a combination video game series called the Quatermass Effect, and then we'll just really lose it. Anyway, Gary Girani, there's the first feature on here is a new audio commentary film historian and screenwriter, Gary Girani. But since he did mention himself as a historian on this, he gets his bio again. Of course, he's as cool as they come. He walks into the room and everyone just goes to him because he's just that cool. Likes to go by GG or Double G. He wears open-chested velour top so his perfectly coiffed chest hair can have its moment to shine.
We got
commands the room from his personality to his chest hair. Obviously a ladies' man. And we probably insulted many women on that, just assuming that they love velour and chest hair exposure.
What happens when Gary Girani and David Del Valle get in the same room? Because they both have that
they
Frankie
do.
Avalon.
I know, and yet they've never teamed them up.
We got hung up on the chest hair thing for some reason. I don't know why.
Yeah, they were around the same time period. But you know what? Also, I feel like it probably would look like when Larry and Jack Tripper go to the Regal Eagle.
Oh my God,
that's exactly
what it would look like.
Yeah, that would be a great. That would be if they ever redid Three's Company, you could have those two as Larry and Jack.
Yeah,
and it'd be all great. They could have it called I did it again. Quatermass Company. Anyway, Carpenter on Quatermass.
It's like a tongue twister.
Oh, John Carpenter. Why did you throw yourself into the Quatermass ring? On-camera interview with legendary director John Carpenter. I wonder if he could, maybe that's why he's so grumpy. His facial expressions, because he got annoyed how many times he had to correct himself on this commentary.
Probably.
You never know. QX from reality. Oh, that's Quatermass Experiment. QX is the one. Look at that.
I'm going to start
I'm just going to call this movie as QX from now on, yeah. From reality to fiction featurette, QX. comparing the versions featurette. Interview with director Val Guest by Hammer Film.
Oh my gosh, we missed another one.
Oh shoot! But we've had him.
Okay.
I'm gonna pull him up. Hold on. Yeah, he snuck in there because he was different.
Yeah.
So
he's different, all right.
Yeah, has a particularly loud, nasally tone when he speaks, earning them the name Marcus Horn in high school. So,
poor guy. He got like the short shrift of most of our film historians.
But he still. Hey, listen, he's in Quatermass discs. He can't be that bad. Audio commentary by director. Director by Val Guest, moderated by Marcus Hearn. So let me ask you, if he's moderating it, when anyone says something wrong, does he go? Because he's Marcus Horn. He's like that taboo. You ever see like Four Christmases? Remember when Sissy Spacek doesn't understand the rules? She keeps honking, like doing the horn. That would be this commentary. Trailers from Hell with Ernest Dickerson. Alternate main title. Thank God. And theatrical trailer.
The alternate main title is Quartermass.
I know, it's just Quartermass. The 4 quarters of Quartermass. Okay.
There's a bunch of movies in that series too.
I watched several of them for some reason. I can't remember why, and I still never got over the name.
Is there ever going to be a box set of that? Because God help us all.
Next up from Massacre Video, we had Men Behind the Sun. This is a part of a trilogy. So I'm going to just tell you. Can I just tell you all 3 of them? I mean, okay.
Yes, just go ahead because the trailers make no sense, and the second one makes twice as no sense, and the third one, which we couldn't find a trailer for, I can only imagine is 3 times no sense.
I'm not even going to read the full summaries for these, but there's Men Behind the Sun, which was 1988, Men Behind the Sun 2 from 1992, and Men Behind the Sun 3 from 1994. These are all put out by Massacre Video, and they're basically about Japanese troops round up Chinese and Russian prisoners of war and take them to a place called Squadron 731 where they perform grotesque biological experiments on them. And I think all of these are kind of the same thing. I've heard that it's like, I kind of read vaguely about these, like they're supposed to be like really gruesome war torture movies, if that's your thing.
Okay.
But the trailers didn't really do much justice for these. They don't even look that really bad. I just have to assume like the trailer's not showing like a lot of the horrific stuff. But yeah, I don't know. I've seen these listed on some of the like disturbing film things, but I don't
know. The next one is Mondo Macabro, and this one is like I don't know much about any of these movies, but I kind of want to see it though. It's Bollywood Horror Collection from 1984 to 2006. When you hear Bollywood, you have this idea of a movie like a lot of lavish, like it's usually like musical, a lot of fanfare, right? That's what they say. So the fact that they did a horror collection really piqued my interest a bit because I want to know what their kind of like horror they do if it's under the Bollywood title.
I tell you, the more modern Indian films I've seen, like RRR, and there were some other ones that are on Netflix, are really good. Like they're really, really. It's a different.
I've noticed they put a lot of Indian horror films now out there on the streaming services. Yeah,
I mean it's definitely a different. It's definitely a different culture than like. It's definitely a different feel from American movies. Sometimes the budget's not quite there and stuff, but it's they're. And I haven't seen a lot of Indian horror, but I'm talking more about like the action films. But they're really entertaining.
Well, I got to tell you, Tim, if you hear when you hear the description, I think we're going to really be even more intrigued. So it says the 7 Ramsey brothers. No, Gordon Ramsay, chef, is not one of them. Anyway, so and I realized that as I'm saying that, like Kitchen Nightmares is on in the background on the channel we have, and the funny thing is I never lowered the volume, but I think it was low enough that it's not picking up on the mic. Hopefully, if not, I apologize for the background noise of Kitchen Nightmares. Anyway, the 7 Ramsey brothers, son of the radio manufacturer Fate Chand U Ramsey. I guess. Oh, I'm sorry. I can't read this thing. I had it too small. Were India's biggest producers of horror movies. It says they were active between 1972 and 1994 and produced 25 films, the vast majority of them in the horror genre. Although they also worked on thrillers and even a children's film, which also included a monster of sorts in a huge friendly Yeti.
I kind of want to see that one now, too.
I know. That's the one Tim and I need to see. So it's got a whole bunch of stuff. Not a lot of special features in it for this whole box set, but I'm wondering if they just didn't announce them all. First one is Atma the Ghost from 2006. Purana Mandir, or The Haunted Temple from 1984. I assume this is the Indian name and then the U.S. name. I apologize if that's wrong, but Purani Haveli, The Monster Walks from 1989, Takhana, or The Dungeon from 1989, Virana, or Vengeance of the Vampire 1988, or, oh boy, I thought that was one word, it was the slash, Band Darwaza, or Bride of the Vampire from 1990. Special features are 2K restorations from the original camera negative, interviews with the cast and crew, trailers, more interviews with the cast and crew, an 80-page full-color book on the history of Indian horror movies. That alone might be worth that disc.
Yeah, this one sounds really interesting to me.
I know. It's like, now it's really, like, intrigued me to the point where I may want to...
Yeah, depending on the cost, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I usually get, like, money or gift cards around the holidays anyway, so maybe that'll go right to the Bollywood horror collection.
Next up from Powerhouse Films, we had Patrick 4K from 1978. After the shocking bathtub death of his mother and her lover, the sinister Patrick lays comatose in a small private hospital, his only action being his involuntary spitting. When a pretty young nurse, just separated from her husband, begins work at the hospital, she senses that Patrick is communicating with her, and he seems to be using his psychic powers to manipulate events in her life. And I swear, this movie looks so familiar from the trailer. I feel like I watched it at some point, like several years ago, but I can't say for certain.
So there's also I want to say there might be a remake of this. I'm not 100% sure. Because I thought the same thing. Also, there is also kind of... Oh, see, there was one from 2019, but I think it's an old, different kind of... That's a comedy, so maybe it's not. Maybe I got it confused. But a lot of the description a little bit kind of sounds like that movie, The Sender. Do you remember that? I think we might have done it.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
Because remember, it was like the one with it was Catherine Harold, and she like saved that she's like with that patient who can like send his thoughts through there and kind of give you nightmares. In the beginning, he walks into the water, and then she's his patient.
That's what I'm thinking of. I bet.
So I'm wondering if it's so close to that. That's what we're thinking of. And actually, I that was one of my suggestions to David Weiner when he was doing I think In Search of Darkness 3, and I think it made it on there. Cool. So because that was one I used to watch on cable all the time, and I remember seeing it in the video store. So I mean, I could be wrong. You may have seen this. I mean, wouldn't be shocking if we saw this both. But when I read that description, I'm like, oh, this kind of sounds like a version of almost like The Sender.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure you're right. I think that's what I'm thinking of because I felt like I watched it in relation to the podcast somehow.
Oh, okay. Then I bet you it was The Sender. I loved The Sender.
I did too. I love that one.
Yeah, that's a great one. Next one is from Rising Sun Media. I think that's a new one. And this one, I of course, I had to send it to our group text for Emily because she's terrified of puppets. And this one is like kind of like a puppet horror film, I guess, but not like with any kind of skilled puppets. No. It's like you literally see the people's arms in it. And it's not even puppets, I should say. It's almost like dolls or something. Or stuffed animals. I can't.
Hang on, I'll fix the thing on this. But yeah, so... Well, I'm trying to fix the summary here. There was the kids when they were younger, they used to watch YouTube channels made by other kids, obviously. And there was one series they watched all the time where it was basically these girls that did entire movies. I'm talking about long movies with nothing but Barbies. Like they would just, they would walk the Barbie around and talk for the Barbie or the doll, or it might be a doll. Yeah. And they would like talk to each other. And they had these elaborate plot lines and everything. That's what this reminded me of. It's like, it's not an actual puppet. It's just them like holding the stuffed animal and like walking it around and doing the voices for it. It's very weird.
Was Alan in it? Like in the
I don't think so.
No Alan. No, he gets gypped. Yeah. Anyway, well, this one, it says, when Tom lost his girlfriend, BB, literally the letters B and B, to a tragic accident on prom night, the police suspected him. His family shunned him. His friends blamed him. Or they would have, if he'd have any. Boy, that's harsh, this poor dude. I know. Now he writes death metal love songs by BB's grave. Until his restless solitude is shattered when space aliens invade Earth and turn the dead into an army of zombie killers. Battling to save BB from becoming a puppet to alien masters and his own desire to resurrect his lost love, Tom has to dodge bullets, legion of zombies, aliens, death rays, and a global apocalypse. So maybe it's not all puppets?
I don't know.
Or they just decided midway through the description, we better mention puppet in the title so people are not shocked. I don't know. Either way, It's got a trailer reel and a music video. Yeah. So I'm sure that's one of the death metal songs that they made. But
next up from Ronin Flicks, There's Nothing Out There from 1991. When a horror film buff tries to warn his friends spending spring break in a house in the woods of impending danger, they scoff at him. That is, until a huge mutant frog starts to pick them up one by one. I think it should be pick them off one by one. But unless there's this frog just walking around picking adults up in his arms. I like the premise of...
Could be a big frog. We don't know.
Yeah, true. It says huge. He was a huge frog.
It does.
I like the premise. I'm skeptical as to whether they actually lived up to it based on this trailer. But man, good God, a number of extras on this one for this movie.
Yeah, it's like basically makes up for every other extra that's not on the other discs.
So disc 1, we have exclusive new 2K restoration by Ronin Flicks, new audio commentary with director Rolf Konevsky and cast members Jeff Dacus and John Carhart, new audio commentary with film journalist Heidi... I just missed the historian, they're journalists. Heidi Honeycutt and Amanda Reyes. Amanda Reyes.
Oh my God, Heidi Honeycutt when she makes it there.
Amanda Reyes is one, but she's
yeah, she is one, but not here. So.
New, never before seen opening sequence storyboards. There's a movie out there. Interview with writer director Rolf Konevsky and editor Victor Konevsky. 40 years of cutting. Interview with Victor Konevsky. Interview with actor Craig Peck. Interview with Rolf Konevsky. Copycat short film about the film's influence. 20th anniversary audio commentary with director Rolf Konevsky. Audio commentary with... God, a lot of audio commentaries. With director Rolf Konevsky and filmmakers Joe Lynch and Jeffrey Reddick. Audio commentary with Rolf Konevsky, Victor Konevsky, Craig Peck, Mark Culver, John Kim, Gene Mass, and Alice Glenn. Pre-production footage and video storyboards, behind-the-scenes rehearsal footage, original cast auditions, production stills gallery, animation test footage and deleted shots, theatrical trailer, and a new limited edition slipcover and 16x20 mini poster featuring the original poster art plus reversible artwork. But we're not done. There's another disc.
That's only disc one.
Disc 1. Disc 2 has new, a collection of 10 early shorts and films made by writer, director, producer Rolf Konevsky back in the 1980s, complete with newly recorded director's introductions, many of them never before released. The Hunt short, Crazed short, Breaking and Entering short, with optional audio commentary featuring Rolf Konevsky and Ed Ehrenberg. Murderously Fun House short. Undead film with optional audio commentary featuring Rolf Konevsky and Ed Ehrenberg. Strength in Numbers feature film with optional audio commentary featuring Rolf Konevsky and Ed Ehrenberg. Murder in Winter feature film. Peekaboo short. Just Listen short. Mood Boobs short.
That's what I gotta see. I want to see some moody boobs.
Strength in Numbers blooper reel and behind the scenes of Mood Boobs featurette. So you get the behind the scenes of Mood Boobs.
Oh, you get like extra mood boobs. I like it. That just made me want.
Does that mean you put your hands on them and they turn a different color based on your emotions?
I wonder. Yeah, it's like either that or maybe they like the nipples like turn down in like an angry like look if they're doing. I don't know. Since we'll have to ask the wives on that one if they what a mood boob is. I don't know. And then when Tim and I are on the couch, we'll let you know. We'll report back.
Yes, exactly. It was fun. The podcast was fun before we got canceled. Appreciate it, guys.
Yeah, I tell you, this dismemberment always is like borderline going to get us in trouble one of these days. Next one again is from Ronin Flicks, and this is The Lost. It says, 4 years ago, Ray murdered 2 young women at a local campground, and his friends help him cover it up. Now, Detective Charlie Schilling and his ex-partner know Ray did it, and they plan on pushing him until they can prove it. What? If they know he did it, I
guess that's...
how do they not have the proof yet? I don't know. But this one got rave things about it, and like both Tim and I are like, whatever. Anyway, exclusive new 2K remaster from a 4K scan of the original camera negative by Ronin Flicks. New audio commentary with director Chris Siverston and producer Lucky McKee. Oh, I didn't know he's involved in this. Historical. Oh, God. Wait, we didn't catch it. Oh, no. It's historical audio commentary. It's not a historian. No. Okay. Historical audio commentary with the late Jack Ketchum, moderated by writer Monica O'Rourke. I hope they recorded that before he died. With all due respect, just because I don't think
otherwise one side's really quiet.
Yeah, and what does she really do? She's getting paid to moderate nothing. Anyway, sorry, we're going to hell. Anyway, new interviews with cast members Mark Center, Robin Sidney, and Shay Astar. Audition tapes, outtakes, storyboard sequence, original Jack and Jill short film by Chris Siverson. I assume that's not the Adam Sandler vehicle. New limited edition slipcover, initial pressing.
Popcorn.
Hey, popcorn.
Anyway.
I don't know. Your mom said it's always better to have and not need it than to need it and not have it. Okay, sorry. I've tortured Julie with every line from that one.
Do we have any Jack and Jill fans in the house?
I know, seriously. Hey, popcorn. No, that's
I'll never forget Hey, popcorn.
That's the line from it. Yeah.
Next up from Universal Studios. Oh God,
sorry, you got stuck with this one, Tim, twice.
Five Nights at Freddy's.
You got twice watching it, and now we need to talk about it.
Five Nights at Freddy's 4K from 2023. Struggling to take care of his 10-year-old sister Abby on his own, the generally undependable Mike is low on options when he lands this new job to pay the bills and bring her along to the gig. Mike quickly realizes, however, that the night shift at Freddy's won't be as kickback as he was thinking after he makes a disturbing discovery that the pizza place is for horrifying animatronic mascots, all apparently come alive, moving about on their own as they hunt down and attempt to kill anyone that is still at Freddy's after midnight.
You know what's sad is that this movie came out literally after the Banana Splits, which they kind of took loosely on a thing like that, and then of course Willy's Wonderland. So like literally the movie the game that inspired those two movies now finally got a movie of its own, and at this point now it's the third in that series, and from what you said, I heard it's way too long.
It's very boring for a kids-oriented movie. It's very boring. It took me 3 or 4 tries to get through this movie. Honestly,
I know I've literally had it in my queue, and I'm like, I want to watch this, and then I'm like, hour and 50 minutes.
I mean, I will say Matthew Lillard is really good in this. Like he's the best part of this whole movie. And, I think this is going to be, I think they said there's going to be a follow-up to this. So I'm kind of glad that Matthew Lillard's kind of got a little bit of a franchise hold again. But this one, man, I can't imagine any kids like
Well, you never know. After what's happened with Scream, maybe he'll be back into a franchise because they're going to need to pull something out of their ass.
This one has a few extras. Five Nights at Freddy's From Game to the Big Screen featurette, Killer Animatronics featurette, Five Nights in 3 Dimensions, and original trailer.
Was it in 3D or? Oh, I guess they meant in 3 dimensions, meaning like in the film.
Yeah, like the. Okay. I will say the animatronics are super cool, like the costumes and everything. It was all well done. I mean, it was very faithful to the game, from what I know about it, from what Joshua's played. But still, the movie just to me was boring.
Well, if we ever do the movie on it, I think, an episode on it, I think we'll need to have Joshua come on. We need a Five Nights at Freddy, expert.
Absolutely.
Like, he would be on the disc as the Five Nights at Freddy, historian,
exactly,
So we'll need to have him on there. Next one is from VCI, and Horrors of the Black Museum from 1959. It says, the promotion announced that this film was released in Hypnovision, which gives the idea of a story. A frustrated thriller writer wants accurate crimes for his next book. So I can't speak. He hypnotizes his. You know what it is? I keep it small so I can see more of the screen, and that's always a bad idea because it's on my iPad and it's far away, and I need to I forget sometimes to move it forward, so I make up words in there. Anyway, writer accurate crime for the next film. So he hypnotizes his assistant to make him commit the required crimes. And this looks really cool, actually.
Yeah.
But I'm more interested that in the trailer it keeps saying, this film is X-rated, so we cannot show you this scene.
Oh, really? I don't know. Was it really X-rated, though, or was that just a thing?
I know. It was like 1950s X-rated, where it's probably I don't know, fake blood. I don't know what it could be.
They showed a belly button at some point, probably.
Yeah, something like that. It does have a 2023 commentary by Robert Kelly, noted film historian and artist.
Ooh.
He's a new one, actually. And it's funny, he likes to be called Bob, the nickname for Robert, until he realized his initials then were BK, and he was tired of taking orders for Whoppers and Big Fish sandwiches. So, you can see how these names, you got to be careful when you pick your own nickname.
Poor guy.
Got to look at the, the initials, Archival commentary by writer-producer Herman Cohen.
Paging Mr. Herman.
I was just going to say that. I knew it. Tim and I have been together long enough. Our cycles have definitely linked, and our brains have melded, because that's exactly what I was going to say. Original U.S. Hypno Vista opening featuring psychologist Emile Franchel. Not sure what that's about. Archival phone interview, video featurette with Herman Cohen. Guy couldn't even bother to get there, so it's just this really scratchy phone audio.
There's a phone interview for Paging Mr. Herman.
I know Paging Mr. Herman. And what's funny is probably he's probably so cheap he did it on a payphone, so every few minutes you hear clink, 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 like the dimes going in. Photo gallery, U.S. theatrical trailer, original European theatrical trailer, and versatile artwork featuring original theatrical art and flip side with new graphic design by Robert Kelly. So look at that. He's he does a little historian piece, and he does the artwork for the box.
Very nice. I wonder, people that are new to this podcast and listen to these episodes and go, what the hell are these guys talking about?
I know where. No, the funniest is that people that don't get the film historian joke, and they're looking up these people, and they're like, "That's not what they said on Civil War. That's nothing like them."
I don't know. We probably should do a listener survey at some point, but I'm almost scared to see the results because we tell the same jokes over and over, and it's just
all I know is like John Eversole, one of our dedicated longtime listeners, made my day today when he saw our promo for the episode, which you're going to be releasing. When you're hearing this, it's going to release the next day. It's our Lost Thanksgiving episode with Toasters and Moose, and he said, "I thought you guys it was so good, but you've somehow found a way to get better." And I'm like, to me, that just put a big smile on my face because that's what Tim and I hope, because we, because like we like to do these episodes where we think it's fun, and the fact when our listeners and stuff get in on it, and like because they know us and they know what. And that they're so excited for it, to me, that just made my day.
Yeah, because, I mean, honestly, I don't know. You don't get a lot of feedback. Most podcasts, I mean, you think for every 100 listeners you have, you might hear back from like one or two people. You actually get feedback from one or two people. So
we've get a decent amount, actually, if we do.
But, well, I'm just saying in general, though, like, you only hear back from a very small percentage. So I don't really know what people think of this podcast. And that means that most of the stuff that we say, we're just doing for our own amusement. Well, we made this whole podcast for our own amusement. We weren't like planning on anybody to actually listen to it or like it. We just did it for fun. And we're still kind of doing that in a way. So it's very
once again borrowing from Coaster Radio, because that's what they say all the time.
but yeah, so I mean, it really, like, I love hearing like positive feedback and people say they're enjoying it, because like I have no clue. If that's the case, that's freaking awesome, because otherwise I'm just going to keep telling the same jokes for my own amusement. And quoting Pee Wee's Big Adventure.
Well, that will never stop regardless. I don't care if that gets a panned review. That and Trains, Planes, and Automobiles will always be quoted.
Or some mention of Three's Company at some point during the episode.
Yeah, that always gets... And Rocky, of course. That's always there,
Next up from Wellgo USA, we had The Wailing 4K. I can't tell you how long this movie has been on my wish list.
Yeah. Me too, and I own it. I literally own the movie. I bought it the day it came out because it looked so cool, and I have yet to watch it. It always gets
stellar reviews. I'm like, I'm going to watch The Wailing one of these days.
Yeah.
Anyway, 2016.
You know what we need to do? Here's how we'll solve that for both of us. We're going to make it like for our next, because obviously the next few episodes are going to be holiday themed. We're going to make that one of our first movies back from the break for season 8.
There you go.
There we go. Then we're going to force ourselves to watch it. Finally.
A stranger arrives in a little village, and soon after, a mysterious sickness starts spreading. A policeman is drawn into the incident and is forced to solve the mystery in order to save his daughter. No extras listed for that one, but that's that one. Man, you see it always on like top reviews of like best movies, and I just...
Yeah, and you want to know how far that goes back that I've owned it? Because that was in those days of where we used to joke with each other when we'd buy stuff. We say, well, it's for the podcast.
Oh, exactly, yeah.
That's it. It's like that one of those DVD Blu-rays I bought. So I still remember picking it up at Best Buy and saying, oh, look at this. This is a cool horror film. I'm going to get this. It's for the podcast.
Well, you're going to get a chance at some point in season 8.
I know.
Okay, so next up, Brian, you've got our pick of the week.
Oh, yeah, I'm getting the pick of the week this week. This one is Severn Films, and this is a big me and Tim one. It's Danza Macabre, not Tony Danza. Hey, Danza Macabre. It's not Tony Danza with Angela. It's Volume 2, the Italian Gothic Collection, 1964 to 1972. Yo, you want to watch a horror movie? It ended when I was born. Sorry, I made you laugh with the Angela.
I was like, yo, you want to watch a horror movie, Mona?
Yeah, come on, Mona. Come on, Angela. We're going to watch it. Poor Tony Danza. Anyway, in this second collection of Italian Gothic shocker, because this is Volume 2, remember? In the second collection of Italian Gothic, we missed it. We'll have to go back. We'll have to get them all. Well, I mean, considering it ended when I was born there, say 64, 72, it was over. So we might need to get these both so we can. Maybe we need these so I could live. I don't know. Anyway, you're invited to grab your candelabra and enter the cobweb-shrouded world of violence, madness, and sexual deviance that remain unmatched in genre history.
I love it. This is my favorite thing. Like,
I know. This is like, if you could, like, sum up Tim's love of horror in a box set, this might be really close to it.
Like, this weird Italian 60s, 70s stuff. I love it. Love it. Love it.
Yeah. Yeah, and like Tim pointed out, it actually has a clip of Stephen Thrower, which we've mentioned a million times on the show. It looks what shocker, probably nothing like what we said based on what I saw of him.
Definitely.
But anyway, so this has got 3 discs. Disc 1 and 3. Yeah, 1 and 3. It's Castle of Blood, 1964, and it's got audio commentary with Rod Barnett of Naschy Cast and The Bloody Pit and Adrian Smith. What is that? The Bloody Pit? Is that
I think it's another podcast. Yeah.
Well, so this guy Rod Barnett gets around, I guess. Anyway, trailer, TV spot. Disc 2 Blu-ray is selected scene commentary with actors Barbara Steele and Barbara Steele. Oh, and Barbara Steele, archivist Russ Lanier. Boy, that's when you know you're good, where you show up with on a commentary with your own historian.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Or archivist, because you're that cool and you're still alive, and people are willing to
That's crazy.
Go along with your history as it's becoming history. Yeah, it's pretty impressive. Exploring the Castle of Blood, interview with Stephen Thrower, hey, author of books on Jess Franco and Lucio Fulci.
I want his books, but they're expensive.
They are. You know what? And it's like, you don't want to throw away your money away, so you need to make sure it's good. That was terrible. Okay. Disc 3, the Blu-ray special features. It's the director who didn't like blood. Interview with Eduardo. Why does he spell Eduardo that way? I don't know. Eduardo Margaretti, son of director Antonio Margaretti. And do you know that's, of course, where that the Tarantino connection comes in for that, right?
No, I'm afraid to ask.
Okay, so if you remember in Inglourious Bastards, when they pretended to be the 3 Italian filmmakers, Eli Roth's character was Antonio Margaretti.
Oh.
So whether or not Tarantino gave him that to do, or Eli Roth, who is incredibly vast mind of film and horror history, may have
that's
put
cool.
that
I didn't
in
catch
himself. I don't know. Yes, and I went and fact checked it to make sure, to double check that was the name, the quoted name he used in the movie, and it was. Because remember, he goes, Dominic the coach. It was the other one. The Coco was the other guy. And then remember, he was Gararmi was Brad Pitt. But Eli Roth was Antonio Margaretti, as he said.
Oh, that's cool.
So there's no way that is not intentional
no.
by either Tarantino or Roth. I'm gonna dig to see if that's where that came from, but it gotta be. Anyway, enigmatic elegance, unveiling the haunted legacy of Barbara Steele in the Italian Gothic video essay by Rachel Nisbet, film critic and co-host of Fragments of Fear. Return to the Castle, location featurette. Antonio Margaretti remembers Castle of Blood and Barbara Steele. Trailer, TV spot. Oh, wait, I'm sorry, there are way more discs, because now there's disc 4 and 5 with Jekyll. That's Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Albertazzi. What happened to Mr. Hyde? Interview with actor Giuliano Disparati. Building the world of Jekyll. Interview with set designer Emanuele Taglietti. The Double Spiral Staircase of Jekyll and Hyde. Video essay by Joseph Dwyer. Disc 6. They have changed their face!
Face off.
Because it's all capitals. Yeah, face off. 1971. Audio commentary with director Corrado Farina. Moderated by Alberto Farina. I guess soon that's his brother. Audio commentary with Kat Ellinger, author of Daughters of Darkness. I gotta get that book. You said you read it, right?
No.
Or you saw it?
No, I did not.
I think we need that book.
That looks like a cool book, though.
Yeah, we need to get that book.
The one you're probably thinking of is The House of Psychotic Women.
Oh, yes, you're right. Okay. Yeah, I want to get that one. The Farina Method. An interview with breakfast aficionado. Oh, no, sorry. Interview with film critic Alberto Farina, son of director Corrado Farina. Bloodsucking Capitalist. Interview with actor Giuliano Disparati and editor-screenwriter Giulio Berruti. Outtakes of Desad.
Okay.
Short film by Corrado Farina. Oh, God,
You've got the Italian down.
I got the doozies this way. Il Figlio di Dracula, or The Son of Dracula, or Giro Tondo, Ring Around the Rosie. I feel like Giro Tondo is like some kind of weird like creature that would appear in one of those like old like 70s horror films, you know. Il Cantico del Creature, the Canticle of the Creatures. Well, now I'm asking, what is Canticle? That didn't help. Praise Be My Lord, documentary directed by Corrado Farina at 84 minutes. Commercials directed by Corrado Farina. Disc 7, The Devil's Lover, 1972. Audio commentary with Anne Rose Malamet, film scholar and host of Girls, Guts, and Jallo. That sounds like a cool podcast, actually. Lady of the Night, The Feminism of Rosalba Neri. Video essay by Alexandra Heller-Nicholas, our saucy little minx who's not a film historian today. See, she's being extra saucy by tricking us and going into being a video essay. Out of the Woods, interview with actor Robert Woods, which totally sounds like a film historian backstory that we would make up. And disc 8 is The Devil's Lover soundtrack CD.
That's a packed box there. I would love to have. I'm going to look up the price of that one because I definitely want that one.
Yeah. Well, no, but you need to look up the price of both now because you can't just jump into two.
That's right.
But you know what? It pisses me off. I wish I'd known this because they were doing for their Black Friday sale. I think they were accepting pre-orders as part of the deal. We might have gotten this as a deal a week ago. Wow. We got to look into this though, but because Severin rarely have sales.
Yeah.
So, but we'll check it out. We'll let you know.
All right. So to recap, the week of December 12th, that was a big week. We had Satanic Hispanics from 2022, The Terror 60th Anniversary Edition from 1963, House of the Long Shadows from 1983, The Quatermass Experiment from 1955, Men Behind the Sun Trilogy, Men Behind the Sun from 88, Men Behind the Sun 2 from 92, Men Behind the Sun 3 from 1994, the Bollywood Horror Collection from Mundo Macabre. I just like saying that. Patrick 4K from 1978, fun. Apocalypse Love from 2023, There's Nothing Out There from 1991, The Lost from 2006, Five Nights at Freddy's 4K from this year, Horrors of the Black Museum from 1959, The Wailing 4K 2016, and our pick of the week, Danza Macabre, Volume 2, The Italian Gothic Collection from Severin Films.
Yeah.
God,
if there ever one that deserved the pick of the week.
Severin makes some just fantastic box sets.
Yeah. I still got to dig into my Cushing Curiosities.
Yeah, I've got that whole Wisconsin one. That weird.
I know, me too. I never looked at that one either.
All right, so that brings us to the week of December 19th. This is the last week of releases for December because there's nothing releasing the week of Christmas. First up is Kino Lorber Underworld 4K, and nope, it's not that Underworld. It's the one from 1985,
nope, which I thought it was, and I forgot to put a trailer on it. So
1985, when high-class hooker Nicole. When high-class hooker Nicole is kidnapped from her brothel, rich businessman Hugo Motherskill hires her ex-love Roy Bain to find her. Investigating the disappearance, he eventually finds traces that lead to Dr. Savory, who has produced a strange white powder that's coveted by a race of deformed human beings who live in the underworld in the sewers below the city. Wow.
What kind of names are the character names of these, though?
This one is disc 1 is new 4K restoration from the original camera negative and new audio commentary with director George Pablo, moderated by Stephen Thrower, the author of Nightmare USA, The Untold Story of the Exploitation Independence. Disc 2 is the Blu-ray with Transmutations, a 103-minute alternate cut, archival behind-the-scenes footage, and an image gallery of stills, storyboards, makeup tests, and Clive Barker designs.
Yeah, I kind of want to see it just because it's Clive Barker,
definitely.
But we'll see. Next one is Paramount Pictures release, Pet Sematary Bloodlines, 4K one, 2023. Of course, that's the new one that debuted on Paramount Plus, which I actually watched for the Horror Challenge, which was very good. Got me some good objectives there. I know I liked this a little better than Tim. I thought it was okay, but it was, it definitely had its flaws. But I kind of like the cast with it. I thought the cast did a great job, especially oh my god, what's her name? Oh my god, I'm forgetting her name. The one, the Alan Woods, Natalia Allen Woods, the one that's, or Lynn Allen. You know what? They go by their last name. They tweak their names a little bit for their professional things. I'm gonna look up her exact name because I feel bad I'm butchering her, and I think I was a big fan of hers. When she was on the Goldberg, she was a good character. Oh my god, why am I not finding her full? I want to
Natalie Allen Lind.
Her name.
Yes.
Thank you, and Natalie Allen Lind. That's right, because it's Barbara Allen Woods and Natalie Allen Lind. They all go by Olivia. They all. I get the sisters confused. I apologize, but yeah, she was very good in it. Anyway, now that I butchered that whole sequence, but she was really funny on the Goldbergs as his girlfriend. Even as a young kid. They're so talented as young kids. That family, they're just like all of them are so talented. It's crazy. Anyway, this one has some special features at Origins. Explore sinister origins and haunting secrets alongside David Duchovny and the cast of Pet Sematary. Fresh Blood, watch a new talent embraces Pet Sematary legacy. Death's Design, which should be actually Final Destination feature, but anyway. Unearth the chilling secrets of hidden Easter eggs that breathe life into Pet Semetery's terrifying designs. Method to the Madness. Go behind the scenes with Jack Mulhern and Isabella LeBlanc, who share how they prepped for their roles, including bonding with four-legged co-stars. War comes home, entering the chilling realm of Pet Sematary as filmmakers and cast dissect the final scene, revealing the innovative technology behind the terrifying realization. I kind of need it anyway for my completionist set, so my Pet Sematary, franchise.
Next up from... Oh, here's Sandpiper Pictures again.
Oh, Sandpiper's back.
Sandpiper's back with Invaders from Mars, the 1986 remake, Tobe Hooper remake. This one is in this remake of the classic 50s sci-fi tale. A boy tries to stop an invasion of his town by aliens who take over the minds of his parents, his least-liked schoolteacher, and other townspeople. I haven't seen this one in a long, long time.
Yeah, same.
In fact, I've seen the original more recently than I've seen the this remake.
Yeah, and nothing on it. Yeah, I think Sandpiper's one of these like kind of budget, wallet-friendly companies that just re-release some like classic films. Next one is from Universal Studios, and this is The Exorcist Believer in 4K 2023. When two girls disappear into the woods and return 3 days later with no memory of what happened to them, the father of one girl seeks out Chris McNeil, who's been forever altered by what happened to her daughter 50 years ago. I know, Tim, you were not thrilled with it. I need to get it again for the completionist in me, and I do want to see it too. I mean, I know David Gordon Green has been somewhat of a he went from like total praise to a pariah on our podcast. But I still want to give it a chance and make my own.
It's worth watching. I mean, it's not. Yeah. It's not like it's terrible. It's worth watching. Yeah, it's just
like as long as like there's no like Corey becoming like Pazuzu in it.
I think the biggest flaw in the movie for me was that you never get a chance to like bond with the girls, and like feel sympathy for them, so that the horror doesn't really like in The Exorcist.
See, and they did a good job of that, like in the original Exorcist.
Yeah,
by, you had sympathy towards Reagan. You kind of got enough of her life to realize like.
Yeah, I think that's that was the biggest thing that was missing out of this one. You never get a chance to like feel that sympathy connection to the girls, so you don't really care what happens to them. But anyway, that's just me.
Yeah, see, and to me, that's a big problem. Yeah. When you there's certain movies, yes. Okay, so real quick, I don't want to extend this, but just as a point for our own credibility here, Tim and I always know, like, yes, there are movies where, there are characters in there, like, slashers, mostly characters are disposable. But in a movie like this, there's emotion behind it. There's, there's possession, there's tragedy. You need to be attached to those characters. And the fact that he made two main characters, and neither one of them you felt connected to, that tells me there's a problem in the script. But who knows? Maybe like in one of the commentaries they'll explain why things got cut. Maybe there's more stuff. Either way, I'm gonna give it a chance. It's on for free now. I'll probably check it out anyway, even though I did order it already. But we'll see. Anyway, it's got a decent collection of special features. The feature commentary, it's got co-writer, director David Gordon Green, executive producer Ryan Turek, co-writer Peter Sattler, and special makeups FX designer Christopher Nelson. Making a Believer, filmmakers and cast reveal their collective approach to bringing different perspectives into drama about the synchronized possessions. Ellen and Linda, reunited, The Exorcist Believer, expertly weaves the fates of Chris and Reagan McNeil into its story. Witness a moment of cinema history as these two Hollywood icons meet on set for the first time in years. Stages of Possession, hear from Lydia Jewett, Olivia O'Neill, and special makeup effects designer Christopher Nelson as they discuss the physical and mental changes the girls go through as they advance to the possession. The opening, the first scene of the film takes place in Haiti, a location from the... Boy, it's like a spoiler alert to your thing here. A location from the rest of the story. Filmmakers and star Leslie Odom Jr. discuss how the scene sets up the rest of the film. That's like his way of trying to make it like the original one. But editing and exorcism, The Exorcist Believer culminates with a riveting exorcism scene featuring all the main characters. Director David Gordon Green and editor Tim Alverson explore the challenges of editing such a big scene. Matters of Faith. Experts in theology weigh in on how they consulted filmmakers to ensure depictions of the religious ceremonies in the film ceremonies in the film were as accurate as possible.
Next up is from Belgo USA, The Ghost Station from 2022. A public service worker at Aksu Station witnesses a shocking incident and recruits his friend to help uncover the truth behind the station's mysterious happenings. I thought this one looked pretty cool. It's kind of like a found footage, like train thing, but it was Japanese creepiness going on.
Yeah, well, to me, anything over from Japan, Korea. Those horror films are always so good. I'm gonna watch anything that looks like. Even if I have a remote interest in it, I know I'm gonna be rewarded.
This one did look creepy.
So I will watch it. Boy, I just win. I win this week, huh?
Yeah, all the picks of the week.
Month with every pick of the weeks. This one is Shout Factory, which is release, which is Dead Zone 4K Collector's Edition from 1983. Of course, an all-time classic. When Johnny Smith awakens from a coma caused by a car accident, he finds that years have passed, and now he has psychic abilities. Heartbroken that his girlfriend has moved on with her life, Johnny also must contend with the unsettling powers which allow him to see a person's future with a mere touch. Disc 1 is a 4K Blu-ray. It's got a new 4K transfer from the original camera negative. New audio commentary with filmmaker Mike Flanagan and Eric Vespi and Scott Wampler of the King
That's
cast.
cool, Mike Flanagan.
Audio commentary. I know. Yeah, that's kind of cool that he kind of got in there. Audio commentary with director of photography Mark Irwin. And now we got a trio of film historian things. Audio commentary with film historian Michael Gingold. Of course, he's hosted his whole film series entitled Gingolden Oldies, and he likes to pronounce his now with a British accent when he introduces himself to new people. Think Michael Caine, but with his name instead. So like Michael Gingold, basically is the way he says it. Next one is an audio commentary with film historian and author Tim's favorite, Dr. Steve Haberman, and this time his opposite is with him, film historian Constant Nazer. And, of course, that's Constant Nazer. His brain was transplanted into Johnny Five from Short Circuit, so he goes, "Hey, Nazer Lips, your mama was a snowblower." And, yes, Tim and I did not say that to the guy that played Johnny Five at New Jersey HorrorCon. We should have. And actually, we have a lot to say about New Jersey HorrorCon that's going to be saved for an episode yet, because I have I'll just say this, not only are my emails not responded to, but I sent them a direct message on Facebook that was ignored still.
Yeah, you're about to see Red Tim and Red Brian.
And Red Brian, and a couple of other Red friends. We may just have a Red round table. Anyway, next one is audio commentary with film music historian Daniel Schweiger with isolated score selection. The reason we don't have a bio for him is because he's in Free Enterprise as an actor in it, kind of, and he's like, knowing him the way I am, I can't make a fake thing about him.
Wow.
He's just Daniel Schweiger, and if you see him in there, he's his own thing. So it doesn't make sense.
He's like David S. Pumpkins. He's his own thing.
He is, but he's actually pretty funny in it. I kind of like his little character in Free Enterprise, which you still need to see, Tim. It's such a you movie. It really is. Anyway, Disc 2 Blu-ray, Sarah Story, an interview with actress Brooke Adams, Cold Visions, producing Dead Zone, featuring interviews with production manager John M. Eckert and associate producer Jeffrey Chernoff. Trailers from Hell, Mick Garris on the Dead Zone. Anytime you put Mick Garris anywhere, I'm interested. He's awesome. He's we met him once, and he was awesome. Memories from the Dead Zone, the look of the Dead Zone, visions of the Dead Zone, the politics of the Dead Zone. That sounds like current world right now. Anyway, those are all special features. Theatrical trailer, TV spots, and behind-the-scenes still gallery.
Yeah, I think Mick Garris is ending his podcast, by the way.
He is, and he has I think he's doing like a live.
Yeah, we finally ran him out of business. We told him. We told him we weren't much of a competition, but we actually were.
And he mocked us. He kind of joked about it in a loving manner, but we get the last laugh.
Whose podcast is still going and whose is not.
I know. But if you ever feel like you have that podcasting bug and you want to come back on to get those podcast juices flowing, you are welcome on our show anytime, because we think you're awesome, actually.
All right, so to recap the week of December 19th, we had Underworld 4K. That's a 1985 Underworld, Clive Barker thing. Pet Sematary Bloodlines 4K from 2023. Invaders from Mars remake from 1986, The Exorcist Believer 4K from this year, and The Ghost Station from 2022. Our pick of the week was Shout Factory's release of Dead Zone 4K Collector's Edition. And that will do it for December. That will also do it for my voice, which is going fast. So, so we'll see you back here in January for the new year.
Yes.
But
we have a lot of great episodes to finish off our season. So you're not going to you haven't even heard yet one of our biggest episodes to date, which is going to be released tomorrow when you're hearing this. And we have 3 weeks of great interviews and movies and fun coming up.
December is going to be packed, and we're looking forward to season 8 next year. We'll see you guys here soon.
Yes. See ya.